This is a lesson for R-1. All right, this comes from chapter 1 that we did back in September. This comes from the first half of chapter 1. What we're talking about today are exponents. All right. Now, remember that with exponents, you have something called a base and an exponent. The base is the big number. All right. The base is the big number where the exponent is the little number. Remember that on your calculator to do an exponent, if we had 5 to the third power like this one is, 5 to the third power really means 5 times 5 times 5. So you could write it in the calculator like that. 5 times 5 times 5, hit equals, and you get 125. Or remember that on the calculator, there is the caret button. The caret button is this little arrow, all right, button. So we could do 5 caret button 3. That really means 5 to the third power. So if you type into your calculator 5 caret button 3, you also get 125. So what the exponent tells you how many times to multiply the base by itself. So when we have 4 to the 5th power, what does 4 to the 5th power really mean? It really means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. It's that 4 written out 5 times. So you could either type this right into your calculator like this, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, or you could do 4 caret button 5. 4 caret button 5, or 4 multiplied out 5 times, gives you 1024. That is what your answer is.
You now, just know these off the top of your head?
No. 1/4. I've already taught this lesson 2 times today. 1/4 to the third power. 1/4 to the third power. When you have a fraction, what you want to do is you want to take what's inside the parentheses and write it out 3 times. So you have 1/4 times 1/4 times 1/4. Now, when you're multiplying with fractions, you have to do top times top times top, bottom times bottom times bottom. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. That goes in the top part of our fraction. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Now, in Class Kick today, for your answer, the way that you type in a fraction, remember, is you have to use the backslash key. So 1/64, you're going to type in 1/64 into Class Kick. -2 to the 6th power. Again, take what's inside the parentheses, write it out 6 times. So we have -2 times -2 times -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. So we have -2 written out and multiplied together 6 times. If you're going to type it into the calculator, you have to make sure that you type in the parentheses, -2, close your parentheses, then the caret button, then the 6. So -2 inside parentheses to the 6th power is +64. Now, in Class Kick today, you will not have to type in any of this stuff. All that you will have to type into Class Kick today are your answers like that. All right. You can leave these blank in Class Kick. On the next slide, sometimes what you're going to have is a negative exponent. If the exponent is negative, you want to put 1 as the numerator. Now remember, the numerator is the top number in your fraction. So you want to put 1 in the numerator, then take all of this, get rid of the negative sign, and put it in the denominator. So this is really 1/3 to the 4th. So we could keep 1 as the numerator and then do 3 to the 4th power. 3 caret button 4, or you could do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81. So your final answer here would be 1/81. Again, remember in Class Kick today, you do 1/81. Now, you could also write this out a different way. You could, if you wanted to, do 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. That will give you that same exact answer of 1/81. The next part is anything to the 0 power, where our 0 is our exponent, all right? Where our 0 is our exponent. Anything at all, 7, 15, 85, 352, anything to the 0 power equals 1. So all that you would type in is just the number 1. The next part is when you're multiplying with the same base. Notice that our 2 and our 2 are the same. Our bases are the same. Our 5 and our 5 are the same. Our 7 and our 7 are the same. Our 7 and our 7 are the same. So multiplying with the same base, what you're going to do is you're going to keep the base the same. So this 2 stays the same. The 5 stays the same. The 7 stays the same. The 7 stays the same. So your bases stay the same. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add your exponents. So when it is a multiplying question, you are going to add the exponents. So we're going to take this 3 and we're going to take this 4 and we're going to add them together. 3 plus 4 is 7. So we have 2 to the 7th power. We're going to take this 2, take this 1, and we're going to add them together. 2 plus 1 is 3. We're going to take this 4, take this -1. We're going to add them together. 4 plus -1 is +3. Take this -1, take this -2. We're going to add them together. -1 plus -2 is -3. So when it's a multiplying question, you see the time sign here with the dot. When it's a multiplying question with the same base, we keep the base the same and we add the exponents. The next type of question is when we have a dividing question. Now, dividing questions can go up and down like this, or it can go side to side like this. Notice that we're dividing all these that have the same base. Our 8s are the same, our 7s are the same, our 10s are the same, our 4s are the same. So when you have the same base, you're going to keep the base the same. So this 8 stays the same, the 7 stays the same, the 10 stays the same, the 4 stays the same. We're going to keep the base the same, but when you have a dividing question, you have to subtract your exponents. When it's an up and down question, you have to do the top number minus the bottom number. So 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. We have to do the top exponent minus the bottom exponent. So -2 minus 3. -2 minus 3 is -5. When it's side to side, you have to do the first exponent minus the second exponent. So we're doing 5 minus 8. 5 minus 8 is -3. We have to do the first exponent, -3, minus the second exponent, -2. So we have -3 minus -2. -3 minus -2 is a -1. So just be careful. You have to keep the base the same. Do the top minus the bottom or the first minus the second exponent when it's a dividing question. The third type of question that you have here is when you have a power to a power. Notice that we have 7 squared all to the 4th power. When you have this, you're going to keep the base the same again. So the 7, the 3, the 10, and the 3 will all stay the same. Then what you're going to do is you are going to multiply your exponents. So 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. -2 times 3 is -6. -2 times 3 is -6. 4 times -2 is -8. So when you have a multiplying question, you add the exponents. Dividing question, you subtract the exponents. Power to a power, you multiply. the exponents. And in all those, you keep the bases the same. Well, the last type of question is when the bases are different. Notice here we have a 2 and a 3. We have a 4 and a 5. We have a 1 and a 2. We have a 5 and the 2. When the bases are different, you could do these out by hand if you really wanted to and follow order of operations, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But what I would suggest doing when the bases are different, all that you want to do is type these right into the calculator. That's how you're going to solve these. You want to type them into the calculator, and whatever you get as an answer. You don't have to put these in exponential form. So what you would do is type in parentheses 2 times 3, close your parentheses, and then it's all to the third power. So you have to do caret button 3 and hit equals. When you type that right into the calculator, what you're going to get is 216. For the next one, you have parentheses 4 caret button 2 times 5 caret button 3, close your parentheses, caret button 2. So that's how you're going to type it right into the calculator. You have to make sure that you type in the parentheses with it. If you don't, you'll get the wrong answer. And for this one, you will get 4 million. So 4 with 6 zeros after it. In the next one, parentheses 1 caret button 3 times 2 caret button 4, close your parentheses, caret button 3, and hit equals. When you do that, you get 4,096. And in this last one, again, this one doesn't have parentheses, but you have a 5 and a 2, so you have different bases. So you're still going to type it into the calculator, 5 caret button 2 times 2 caret button 2, and hit equals. When you go and do that, you get an answer of 100. So again, multiplying with the same base, you're going to keep the bases the same and add the exponents. Dividing with the same base, you're going to keep the bases the same, subtract the exponents, power to a power, keep the base the same, multiply the exponents. When it's a weird question like this with different bases, all that you're going to do is type them right into the calculator.